Glory trade. Guess what, my good friends? It's about time for us to pause because guess what? I've got some good friends that are going to be on the line on today. Well, guess what? Hold on to your seats. Coffee Talk is coming on up for you right here on your number one station. Well,
Eric, if you hear us, still try your phone.
thank you for all that you've done, all the things that you're going to do, and all the things that you made ways already. Thank you for last night's slumber and sleep and waking up on this morning with new mercy and new grace on today. And Father, we ask you, God, that you will anoint those who would come across these airways, God, that you have downloaded in them, that they would give us the information, Father, that we need to become better mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, uncles, cousins. Father, we'll be a better family and community and ultimately a better world just for you. So we give you thanks and praise for these and so many other blessings we have in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. And thank you, Bishop, and good Monday morning to you. And every day we rise is a great day to be alive. And welcome to the Seven Cities Forums of Hampton Roads presents Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And my name is James Slim Overton. I'm here with the other hosts, Leah Drake Stiff and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. And we have a special guest with us, Eric Perryman, and we're having some technical difficulties with him, getting him on. And Eric, if you can hear me, can you come out of your tablet and try it with your phone? Come back in with your phone. Just kind of go out of your tablet, your laptop, and use the phone to connect with us. That might work. Oh, you're trying? Okay. Well, anyway, welcome everybody. We appreciate you, and we're sure that we'll work this out with Eric, Mr. Perryman, pretty soon. Hopefully, we can get his audio up. Sometimes you can call in and get us. But anyway, host, while we're waiting for him to rectify that or to connect with us, hopefully that will happen. I trust you both had a busy weekend. It's always the case with our Portsmouth Coffee Talk host.
Mm-hmm. It has been a busy weekend, but it has been a beautiful weekend. In as much as the Mr. Hawkins, Anthony Hawkins, our football coach at IC Norcom High School, along with Mr. Les Young, our athletic director, we had a beautiful tailgate experience at Norcom on Saturday. It reminded you of back in the day to see young people out there just having a good time, to see people of all ages coming together to celebrate the legacy of Israel Charles Norcom. It was a fantastic event, and I understand that this will be his first annual pre-tailgate event for the football team. But it was a great event. I also attended the class of 1962. Mr. Clyde Wiggins is the president. Johnny Drake is the vice president of that class. And they had a beautiful 60th anniversary celebration at the Comfort Inn in Suffolk, Virginia. We had a great time with them. They did a little Norcom trivia game. They also finished the lyrics game and went on to Aberdeen Barn for dinner, came back on Sunday morning and worshiped with us at the Living Word Victory Center, where we, of course, was once again blessed to have Dr. Joe Knight to come in to play the organ. And we had our guest soloist, Miss Amelia Horton. It was just a beautiful day with a beautiful repast at the end. It's been a long weekend, but it has been a great weekend. Colonel,
Yes.
your weekend. You've been swimming and having a good time.
Yeah, well, trying to take advantage of this last minute for the break in the weather. And the pool was 84, what was cooler than
Hey, this is hey, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So you are on the phone now? Yes. I'm sorry, host. You all can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Mute yourself. There you go. Okay, Colonel, as you were
Oh,
saying.
yes, and then just trying to do a few things around the house and honeydew lists and and actually too, and then I had to make a couple care packages for my brother David, my youngest brother. He came down with COVID, and so
Oh, goodness gracious.
yeah, so he was sick, and so had to make some care packages for him. Take care of
What
him.
is he staying with you?
No, no, he didn't want to stay with us because we
Okay.
could have, and he didn't want to stay with my other brother because we could have put him upstairs and forgot about him up
Right,
there.
right, right.
So, but it's all good. But
Well,
he's doing better.
we pray that he's doing better. It seems that quite a few people have been coming down with COVID here lately. So
Well, you know what, and we, as we mentioned, COVID, the COVID numbers in the state of Virginia are rising as we speak, and they're higher than normal. Well, they're higher than what is publicized because we have so many people that get it, and we have the home testing kits and when you come down positive, they don't get into the system. So the rates
exactly.
are much higher than that is publicized. So we have to stay vigilant. And then we still have those 30% of Virginians that aren't vaccinated.
That
And
is so true.
yeah, and then you have people that that get COVID that their employers no longer are going to let them have 5 free days or whatever. And so
Yeah.
they're just going back to work.
Yes, yes.
Because they have to take their own time. They don't want to spend their own time. So you have to treat everybody as if they're walking around with COVID. And as you notice, nobody has a mask out there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about
And
that.
so it's alive and well. And it's still killing us. And we just have to stay vigilant.
yeah, I'll tune in. Eric is trying another location. He thinks maybe he might have a connection issue there. He's at home, so he's trying to know another location. He's tuned back in. But I just briefly, I want to get back to that Saturday, and we were talking earlier about, and we are talking about Norcom and talking about how gratifying it was to see all the people out there supporting the tailgate event and seeing the young people showing that good old Norcom spirit that us old heads are used to. It was a nice event, and all week it was threatening to rain, but you know, somebody prayed, and and the prayers were answered. We didn't have any rain, and everybody was able to come out and really enjoy themselves. And kids, young and old, were out there just having a good time, and that was kind of refreshing to see. And hopefully, we have a good season, a good football season. But either way, we need to support uh, this team or all the teams, all the schools, the high schools that have teams that'll be playing this fall, and all the sports, because at the same time, volleyball will be going on. We need to support that. And if it's any kind of debate teams competing out there, we need to support that, or the orchestra, anything that our students are doing, we need to go out and support. And, you know, even if you don't have children out there playing, just go out there to support them. You know, you don't know what that does. Being someone that played before, well, we didn't have that problem back in the day because the fans just people. It was like people couldn't even get in the gym or into the field because because of the support we got from the whole city.
Exactly.
So, and I don't know, we just need to get out there and not let a few people uh, keep us from doing what we normally do day to day, because they're striking fear in us. And we have to be aware. We have to be aware of our surroundings and be safe and make sure, and our law enforcement are doing what they can to make sure we're safe. But we just can't let people shut us in our house and not be involved to the point where we can't support our future. And that's what we're actually doing. So we need to get out there and do that, and support your schools, support your alma mater. And the same thing goes on the college level. you know, Norfolk State fans, get out there. We talked about it last week. You know, they built that stadium for the fans, and I don't know if it's, you know, if it's been filled to capacity yet. I don't know. They might have had a few games. I remember when FAMU came down, everybody filled the stands, and after the band left, all the fans left. So that was strange. You know, they just wanted to see the bands. But anyway, well, the Norfolk State benefited from the ticket sales on that one, even though people didn't stay.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
you need to stay and support the team. You know, it's not always about winning and losing. It's about supporting these young athletes out there, and you're not only preparing them for the pros, because very few of them are going to go to the pros. You're preparing them for life. You know, those activities they involved in are preparing them for life. You know, so.
And your attending the games also help to pay for the programs, for the items needed for the programs. So it's important that we go out and support the various sports, not like James says, not just football and basketball. There's so many other sports. We have the swimming team, we have the soccer team, we have baseball, you know, softball, volleyball. They're just, and the academic challenge is also one that would take place in the fall. We really need to help to support the academic challenge, but we need to be there in support of the school. Now, I must mention at this time that we are preparing for homecoming, which will be the last Saturday in October. We will have an old-fashioned parade. If you want to put a float in the parade or just have a car in the parade, you got to contact Dr. Joe Knight and let him know that you want to participate. The parade will be at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it will go from the school all the way to the foot of High Street.
Okay. They're going all the way this time.
It's going to be a real parade. It's going to be a real
not
parade,
the 2-block
not the 2
circle.
blocks. Exactly. And we're looking to have floats like back in the day. So get your class together, get your float together, and plan to participate in the parade. Following the parade will be the game at 1 o'clock. And I'm sure there'll be some tailgating going on at that event as well. And if you all would indulge me, I would like to thank Colonel Chapman, who is not a Norcom graduate, but he has joined the IC Norcom Alumni Association as an associate. I thank my co-hosts for joining. Both of you are members, and the Colonel's lovely bride, Antoinette Chapman, is also a new member of the IC Norcom Alumni Association, along with Rhonda Puckett, Susan Nesbitt, Christian Hawthorne, and Anthony Wright. And that's attorney Christian Hawthorne from the class of, I think, 2009. So I want to thank each of you for joining the Alumni Association, and we appreciate the support from each and every one of you.
So Christian what's the last name again?
Hawthorne.
Okay, is that the city attorney, new city attorney?
No, that's Reverend Hawthorne's daughter.
Oh, okay,
Christian Hawthorne. Her mother, Joyce Perry, her grandmother, Joyce Perry, was Joyce Cherry, was one of our majorettes back in 1965. If I'm not mistaken, her mother was also a majorette, and she also was a majorette at IC Norcom High School.
Yeah, two questions. Let me admit.
Go ahead, I let him in.
Okay. He's on his iPhone, so hopefully we're waiting on waiting on Eric to join us here. But two questions about the parade. If you don't know, we can find out and pass it on. Is it a deadline to enter your name, your float, and is it a cost?
What I know that they are meeting, I think it's this week. The AD, Mr. Les Young, is meeting with Dr. Joe Knight, and they're making the plans. And as soon as they pull the plans together, I will, of course, get the information back to you. Okay.
I think we might have audio. Eric, do we have audio?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning,
Eric.
I had to get to the phone.
That was a challenge, Eric, but hey, you hung in there.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It's all about perseverance.
Yes, and we've experienced many of these on Monday mornings, and we've always come through somehow. But so that's why you didn't see Word Looks on our face, because we've been there and we've always prevailed. So, like you said, perseverance. You
Yeah, I
know,
wasn't gonna stop.
yes. But anyway, for our guest is Eric Perryman, and he is. Let me make a correction. I put on the promo that he was an Army veteran, and that was my mistake. He's not an Army veteran, but of course he has a lot of respect for for our military. But that was an error on my part. And but Eric is a graduate of Churchland High School. Norfolk State University, and has a master's of public administration from Old Dominion, associate's degree in business and accounting from Wayne Community College, and he's studying for his PhD at Regent in educational leadership and management in special education at Regent University, soon to be Dr. Eric Perryman. So I'm going to claim it for you, brother, right now.
Amen. Thank you.
But anyway, thanks for agreeing to be our guest this morning. And it's like in a series of our last two guests we've had were Portsmouth natives, and they came on and talked about their experience growing up in the city of Portsmouth as compared to where they are now. So you're part of that fraternity. I'll put it that way. And so tell us about where did you grow up, and how was it growing up for you in the city of Portsmouth?
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank y'all for inviting me on and for waking me up for the first day of school.
First day of your PhD
Yes,
adventure.
sir.
Okay.
Yes. I also would like to thank y'all and want you to know that I appreciate for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do in the future in the community. It's working. And for that, today, before we get off, I'm going to send you a donation, to help you out.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
All right. No problem. Yes, I'm from Portsmouth. I grew up in London. I'm one and the last of 11 kids from a single mom. I went to Churchland Academy. I went to Churchland Junior High, which is Churchland Middle now. And then I went to Churchland High on High Street. Growing up in London Oaks, I was unable to escape the roots of the streets. I aspired to be the men and women in my neighborhood that had nice cars, nice clothes, money, and jewelry. Those men and women wasn't doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, talk show hosts, mentors. But let me rephrase that. They were mentors, but not positive mentors. When I say that, I'm saying they would tell you don't do something, or what you was doing wasn't right, but you would see them doing it. Mm-hmm. For example, if I tell my kids all the time, my opinion, that drinking is not good for you. And this is why. It would be hypocritical if they saw me drinking. It wouldn't be right. Mm-hmm. So those men and women was drug dealers. That's what I aspired to be as a kid. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to listen to my mother. I didn't want to do right. And I didn't want to go to school. So I engaged in criminal activity on the street as a kid. And it just grew until I got to high school. And then I got arrested. When I got arrested, I got committed to the state juvenile system. I went through TDH, Beaumont, Hanover, and Beaumont.
Wow.
So when I got there, I knew when I got out what I wanted to do. My dream was to be that drug dealer that I seen in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm gonna quit school and I'm gonna live that life, right? So my behaviors became a pattern. My behaviors on the street became a pattern that ultimately led me to federal prison. So when I turned 18, I dropped out of school. I didn't finish. I dropped out of school when I turned 18 to live that life. So as time went on, I lived the life, and then I got indicted by the feds in Miami, Florida. That's when everything stopped on the street. When the feds came to get me, they put guns on my mom. I stayed on the run for about 10 months before I turned myself in. So I went to Florida, Miami, and turned myself in. And that's when my life, I started reflecting on my life, And I was kind of old, 29 is old going to jail. So I lasted till I was almost 30 on the street, see? So when I got there, I was a hard-headed joker. I thought I was gonna be a career criminal. Because I didn't know no better. I didn't have the information and things. I was just aspired. Peer pressure got the best of me. So once I got in and everything, I still, again, it went back to like when I was a juvenile, what I wanted to do. And then when I got 10 years, they gave me 10 years, the feds gave me 10 years. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna go get back to doing what I do, right? So it was a guy, God sent this guy, and he had a life sentence. And he had no business where I was. But God saw fit the sent an angel to break me. And I didn't think, you talk about a hard-headed joker. You think you see some of these kids out here, and I tell them right now, when I see them, I say, you're not worse than me. I know you could do it, So the guy, Carlos Shaw, he was out of Palm Beach, Florida. We still correspond. He has a life sentence, right? And I told him what I was gonna do, and he told me, he said, if you get back out here and do the same thing, you're gonna end up like me. This guy wouldn't brush his hair. He wouldn't comb his he wouldn't comb his hair. He wouldn't brush his teeth. He lost hope. So those was the images that I saw. You see, that kind of turned the light on. So he said, I don't know what you're gonna do. He said, but when you get back out here, when you get back out there, when you start moving around, if you do the same thing, you're gonna end up like me, Carlos Shaw, sitting in his cell for the rest of my life, for the rest of your life, So, and then he showed me his paperwork. See, he was giving me visuals. He was giving me visuals of what I was facing. So he showed me his paperwork, and his release date said deceased. So, those was kind of the things that cracked me. So he said, not only that, your mama is gonna get that phone call in the middle of the night, and you don't want that. He said, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you better get your life together. And then that's when the light came on, and I said, I gotta get it together. I got a son out here. I gotta show him. I gotta lead him in the right direction to break this curse.
Mm-hmm.
So he won't go that way.
Exactly.
Right? So I did my time. I was like Joseph. I stayed in the law library. I educated myself. Wayne Community College was a college in North Carolina that gave me the opportunity to get my associate's degree while I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I got my GED. I got my associate's degree. And then, I did my time. Carlos was just a big part of me changing my life and God being able to deliver me and get that stuff out of me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I did my time. I did time all over the country, messing with the feds. I got out. I had a list while I was in. I had a list of everything, all my dreams, everything that I wanted to do. Being a productive citizen of society was the first thing on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else was just something that I wanted to check off, like starting a business, starting a business, going to school, going back to school, getting married, buying a house, things, regular people do,
Mm-hmm.
So, you have people on the street that do regular things too, but I'm just saying, it was things was normal, and being out the way. So, did my time, like I said, I did my time. I came home and I worked 2 jobs. I started out as a manager. When I came out, I started out as a manager. So my point is, what I tell guys that's in, you have to apply yourself to come out here. You just can't just jump out here and think you're going to get a desk job.
Mm-hmm.
You have no education, So that's how the recidivism rate stays up there, because we don't apply ourselves. It ain't all about the F, because I'm living proof of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have had no problem finding a job out here.
Mm-hmm.
And I dictated that by applying myself before I came out here to transition. You see? So, and that's what I tell those guys. But so I started out at Old Dominion, and then I full-time 2 jobs. So I was on a mission and trying to get myself back acclimated, and I didn't want to do nothing, but because the world changed from when I left. That 10 years, you didn't have computers out here when I left.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, you had MySpace, Facebook, Twitter. Facebook wasn't there, but MySpace. So, and then I opened a business. I opened a family restaurant in Norfolk on Colley Avenue called Perryman. I wanted to do something and to make my mom proud, and to show her that, which she already knew. She told me, she said, while I was in, she said, all I want you to do, said, you was wrong. She said, self-responsibility, right? And then get back out here. I know you changed. God knows you changed. I'm breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
God knows you changed. Go out and show the world.
Eric, let me stop you just for a minute, and it'll be for two reasons. One of the reasons we have to leave the radio station, but we will continue on Facebook Live. So I have to say we usually leave the station at 7. So I'd say thanks to all the listeners on WGPL 1350 AM on your radio dial. And thanks for joining us this day. And we'll continue. And while you get yourself together, I want to say this too. What you have already said, and I've been guilty of this, and a lot of people in private conversations and in public conversations, when we're talking about the young people that are out there doing a lot of things, we trying to figure out how to deal with it, and we have sometimes dismissed some of the young kids out there at a certain age and say, well, they're lost already, so so we need to just focus on the young babies. But you are living proof of we can't give up at any age of these young kids, and I've since changed my thinking about that, because I was one of them that said too, because we were seeing how cold-hearted some of these young boys are out there, with no feelings, but it's reason for that. So we have to sort of change that attitude too, because there's a lot of them out there worth saving, and you're definitely a proof of that, because you said you were out there almost to your 30 before you turn yourself around. So just wanted to make that point, and hopefully other people listening will, take heed of that too, because it was just something natural that we just went through. We just thought those kids at a certain age were lost, but we can't give up on them as well.
No, you can't give up on them. I tell them all the time. I say, you're not worse than me, man. I don't see it. And this is the deal. These kids, this is what they're thinking. And this is what I was thinking. I'm going to do what I want to do, right? And if in the process I die, I did what I want to do. That's how they're thinking. But you can change that thinking, but they got to see something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't come out here and say I changed. That's not enough. It's got to be a body of work so they can see.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And
yes.
Other than that, then you're like that mentor I was talking about. You see what I'm saying? You looking like me. I can look like you, but what have you done?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? If I can dress like you, but if I'm acting like you, or if I don't have a body of work to show what I've done to change, it ain't about nothing but you within you. So if you change, what have you done other than come out? You just here. I did. I could say what I did all day long, but I oppose that lifestyle. I don't advertise it. It's not advertise it. I use it to try to help somebody. That's why a lot of people on this broadcast probably didn't know, because I never told.
Right.
Because it's a time and place for everything, you see. And I'm ready. I'm willing and ready to get out in the community more and help. So I want people to know who I am and what I bring to the table. But at the same time, I got to come out here right. I got to get my information right. I have to do my research, and I have to make sure I can make an impact instead of just saying I changed. You see? So that's how that go. But like I said, I went to Old Dominion, and and then I ran into a rough patch where I took all my classes at Old Dominion, but wasn't able to graduate. So, and this is God just leading and guiding me to where he wants me to go. See, I hadn't experienced the Norfolk State thing. So I wanted that thing over there at Old Dominion. It kind of hurt me, but I had to follow the Lord. And like I said, Norfolk State, I haven't even thought about, So they told me, they said, if you come over here, we'll graduate you in the next year, as opposed to staying at Old Dominion, it was going to be 2 more years, right? So I took that because I wanted to do more with my education. So I needed the education to move on, right? So I get over, and I've been on some campuses. I've been Virginia Tech, Virginia, Old Dominion, William and Mary, Boston College. I done been on some campuses, and I saw the same thing at Norfolk State that I see at these other campuses. It's no different. The students' learning level is at the same level, but they didn't have the opportunity to go to these big schools. Now the facilities is different, because they got more money. But you have the same level of student right there at Norfolk State as you got anywhere. It's no, so don't be deterred about Norfolk State. State is a great school, and I'm glad I went there to experience, to see what I saw there, the experience I had there, and the people that I connected with. And it was just a journey that I needed to see. And then, okay, I got my bachelor's degree, and then I went. God sent me back to Old Dominion. See how things work. Sent me back. I just I applied at Regent. They turned me down. And no, Old Dominion gave me a chance. So I was able to go in there and finish with a 3.2 for my master's, and now I'm working on my PhD. But I'm also I have my own business as well. I have a cleaning business, management cleaning control, and we have contracts with all the banks in the area: Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Naval Federal, from Fort Houston to Virginia Beach. Right? We service them. So I found a place, even in serving during the pandemic, just keeping things clean for the public. You see what I'm saying? Serve them in so many ways. You see what I mean? So my business is thriving. It really is. I got my son in business. He has his own business, and he has contract with banks. I think he's cleaning the bank. His company is cleaning the bank in Mid-City, Wells Fargo. And I got 2 banks in Portsmouth. Bank of America in Victory Crossing, and Wells Fargo in Amherst, right on Boulevard. And my business is striving, and what we're doing with my business right now, we're focusing on brand extension and expanding as well. I just started a company, Prime Real Estate and Development. We're buying land throughout the 7 cities and developing it. We have a project in Chesapeake going on now, and I just bought some land out in Suffolk as well that we're going to do multi-units on. Our goal is to eventually do affordable housing. That's our goal. And I tell the business students as well, I said, it's not about the money. It's about what's next. What gotta look forward. The money, if you chase the money, you're not gonna get it. I tried that too, being in the restaurant business. Got my butt kicked a little bit in it, but like I said, I want to do some brand extension and get our name and stuff out, and also I want to start a program in the city of Portsmouth. you know, an entrepreneur program, you know, where you can bring these kids in and train them and take their ideas and invest in them. Not for yourself, but for them. See, so it's ways you just have to be creative to try to make things better in the community and safer, you know. So, you know, we're doing all we can, and we're being patient about it. But I definitely want to do more in the community and lend my skills, resources, and things. I mean, you know, I'm here.
Well, Eric, it is very evident that you had what was needed inside of you to help to pull you out of where you were. And like you said, and oftentimes, many people who've gone through trials and tribulations often talk about that angel who shows up out of nowhere to give them that little extra push that they need in order to be successful in life. So I'm glad that you broke the cycle. Glad you broke the cycle, because so often you see guys who have gone to jail and they continue to go back because they lose their way once they get out. They may have great plans once they get out, but they just don't have the fortitude to stay out. So I just applaud you for doing so, and not only getting out, but getting your education, starting a business, and giving back to society. That's what's most important. So I commend you for that. And we really need guys like you to tell your story to these young people, because as you said, the young people have to see. They have to see for themselves. You know, their words don't mean a thing to them, because children look at you and they look at what you do. They don't listen to the words that you say. They want to see you actually doing what you say that you're doing. So I'm thankful for that. And I hope that you will get that entrepreneurship program going for young people in Portsmouth, because we need it. We need that for our young people, because they just did a piece, I think it was yesterday, about the number of young people who are not going to college now, but they're choosing to take trade jobs because they can get out doing building construction or plumbing, and they can make that six-figure without having all of the dollars attached to it that they have to pay back, as you have to do when you go to college. But not saying don't go to college. College is important. However, we do have to look to provide the children with an alternative. Those children who are not going to go to college, you know, those children who are watching the drug dealers making the money. We need to provide something for them so that they too can channel their lives into another direction. So I commend you. I commend you on what you've done with your life and what you're continuing to do with your life. I commend you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I always tell people I'm turned on by that raw kid that don't nobody see nothing in. Because you know why? The reason why I'm turned on to that rawness, and because I see myself in them. It's like looking at your kid. You know how you look at your kid and they may do some or give a look that resembles you, and you just chuckle, you laugh, because you know that's you, you know. And it's the same way when I see those kids. It's the same way. And when I was in, I joined a program called Project Safe Neighborhood. They talked about it a couple of months ago at
I remember Project Safe Neighborhood.
Yeah. So I was a part of that, where they would take us out. I talked to over 10,000 kids, like elementary to high school. And what we would do, prosecuting, it was done out of the U.S. Attorney's Office. A prosecutor, John Fowles from out of West Virginia. He went to William and Mary. He used to come in and take a few of us out. You know, I was elected to go out and speak. So that program, when I heard it, I said that program worked because it worked for me. And, you know, it worked in the area that we were outgoing in West Virginia. And I just think anything help the city now, you know, that we try, you know. Anything that we try, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Exactly. Exactly.
Trying, we all right. And that's why I want to give Tanya Chapman her due too. She's trying. You see what I'm saying? So, and I believe she could do it, even though I was talking to James, even though, you know, she's not, you know, the process of getting her there wasn't good.
Right.
But I believe she could do it. And I was one of the ones that opposed to her being hired for experience and things of that nature. But the fortitude and the effort that she's putting right now, it'll work because she's smart enough. You see what I'm saying? And one thing I do agree with Mark Whitaker on, that he said something that resonated with me, is your skills and gifts should be transferable. You should be able to move on, but see, it takes smarts for that too. You got to do your homework. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to be smart to be able to take skills from one industry, well, not industry, but from one thing to another and be successful. And she was great as a chief to me, but I know this is a different ball game, but she's doing a good job right now. I gotta say that.
That's a good point. You know, Eric, you've had several great points, and I'd like to just reiterate as you know, you talked about your childhood growing up in London Oaks, and you know, we have places all across the city and across the nation, the state and nation, everything, just like London Oaks. And we are always indoctrinated as young folks as we come through and grow that we need to seek out the material goods. And then for us, you know, and then so your mentors achieved getting that temporary material goods with the flashy BMW. Well, it's not even a new BMW, it's a used BMW. And they put a fake gold chain on and some fake cubic zirconium diamonds on, and all of a sudden you were judged as a success because I'm slinging.
Right.
So we have to break that cycle, and then actually you couple it with, and I'll go back to history, with the media, and we look at the movies like Superfly, right, back in the day, that glorified the drug dealers. And then now we have, in fast forward all these years, we fast forward and we look at the hard rap rappers out there that are making these little videos, and they're flashing up, you know, fake money and stuff like that. And it's all temporary money, but it's all going back to that of getting fast money, and what does not equal to hard work and getting an education, hard work, and education being even in the college, academically, or in the trades, and to get that money legally, and being a party, you know, good citizen of you know, of this country, of your community. And then so we have to draw that distinction of what is good money and bad money.
Absolutely.
And how, what is the difference, and how do you get there? And can you persevere to get there, to get to the good side? Because like I always said, that my dad always said, there are no retired drug dealers out there.
That's the truth.
And so, yes.
And you're right. But this is the thing. You're right about that, Colonel. See, when I was growing up and when I was coming up and in the street, it was a drug culture. a little different now. Nowadays it's a gang culture.
Exactly.
And when we was out there, we was doing it for money, and it's no reason to do it for money. I hear it goes through me sometimes when I hear people say you was doing what you had to do. I didn't have to do that. You see what I'm saying? We was poor, but my next door neighbor was poor. He's one of the best lawyers around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had friends that were successful. I was no different. I was no different. They didn't have fathers in the house either.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I just wanted to do that. I chose that. And that's why I went that route. But now you got that gang culture. It's not about money.
Not about money at all anymore. It's about counting bodies now.
It's about reputation.
That's right.
It's about reputation. So you gotta understand what's out there. And it's dangerous, but it's different now, but it's the same concept, dealing with it.
Well, Eric, I got a question because for the gangs now, for the young people now who are a part of gangs, since it's not about the money, which means you can't use those incentives that you were talking about in order to draw them in.
Right.
Have you thought about what it is that we can do to draw these young people in? Because like you said, they're not concerned about the money. They're concerned about the reputation. They're concerned about the number of bodies that they can count. What do we do for individuals like that who doesn't have their concern for money?
Right. Yeah, you're right. But it's like I was just saying, it's the same concept. It's different. It's a different purpose. One wants the money and one wants the reputation and see, we had gangs on the street.
Uh-huh.
We had gangs on the street then, but it's the same thing. It's the same concept. And even I was a drug dealer, but my mindset was like the gang member, you see? And
they were your family. They were your family.
They was my family, so we worked together, you know what I'm saying? Because you still have drug dealers out there, but they have to intertwine with them guys. They had to move with them guys, So they hang together too, So it's the same concept. You just gotta show them what you're talking about. Yeah, you gotta show them what you're talking about.
But
Eric, how do we handle as a community and as citizens, the fact that we can't let a small percentage of those that are involved in youth crime or crime in general let us, you talk to a lot of grown-ups now and say, well, I'm gonna be off the streets before it gets dark, or I'm not gonna be out there sitting on my porch. Are we contributing to them, giving them more power than they deserve by letting them close us inside our houses? And understand we have to be safe, but how important is it for us to continue looking at the things that are going right, that are going well, and supporting those things, just like the event we had at Northampton, and events like that all over the city, that we need to be out there showing them that you all are not the boss of us. You're all not going to take over, because we only feeding into, I understand the fear, because I have it too, but we only feeding into them and giving them more power than they deserve. So how do we deal with that as a community? It's going to be a collective effort. And City Manager Chapman is doing what she can, but it's other things that have to be involved in order for us to succeed.
Yeah, I think see, sometimes people shun on old things, but sometimes when things get bad, you got to go back to the old things that work, like community policing. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the deal. When I was out there on the block, we had community policing out there. They was coming through. We knew they was coming through, and we respected them, right? So we got out their way. They moved. I mean, we moved. When I say they, we moved. We went in the house, you know, when we saw them, we knew who they were. Big Head, Gavin, Tennis Shoe, Super Cop. We named them. You know, so we would go. So it was just, you know, public safety. I mean, you know, you gotta police the community. And not only that, neighborhood watch was all right. It didn't, it's worth a try. That's a start. But we have to get fully staffed to be able to do that, I guess. But we can't wait 5 years to get fully staffed. We need to do something now. And them guys respect that. They respect the police. Trust me. They can talk what they want to talk. They respect the police because this is the deal. What is respect? It's only one or two things: admiration or fear.
Yeah.
And it was our fear that if they pull up on us and we're dirty, guess what? We're going to jail. And it was just like that. It wasn't no friend thing. You know what I mean? We wasn't friends with the police. So ain't no need to be their friend. You know, you be cordial with them or whatever like that. Respect. I respect you, you respect me. But catch you dirty, you're going to jail. And a lot of them went to jail, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, they ran up on them and they was dirty. I mean, so that's what we have to do.
And in the community policing, as you said, you established a relationship with those officers who walked your community. They knew your community. They knew when something was wrong going on in your community. And I know we don't have the number of officers in the city of Portsmouth anymore that they can probably engage in community policing at this time. But that was an avenue of building that relationship between law enforcement and the community, as well as the neighborhood patrol used to do. I don't know anybody who would want to engage in neighborhood patrol now, but it was a good thing to see that little car riding around through the community, watching and looking as to what was going on. And it kind of kept the little criminals at a bay when they knew that these individuals would be riding through the community, checking up on their neighbors. So those are some things from the past that you said, if we could bring them back, but
it'll help.
Yeah.
It'll help, I mean, immensely. But hey, you know, we got to do something. And again, we at least try.
And it has to be a community-wide effort. You know, everybody needs to be engaged. Everybody has to be involved. And there's no such thing as I'm going to close my eyes to what's going on, because eventually, if it's not hitting you now, it's going to hit you at some point in time. So therefore, everybody needs to come together, work together to, and you know, these mamas, these neighbors, they know who is committing the crime in their communities. They know who the individuals are, but yet they won't tell who these individuals are. So until we begin to work together as a community, we will continue to have that problem. So we need to come together as a community.
I trust that it turn around. You know, I have faith that it'll turn around. We just need to start implementing some things, and you know, it'll come around. And you know, that's why we need good leaders, that creative thinkers, and that can, you know, help put our ideas together. You know what I mean? And then I think things will work out. I'm just thinking positive now. We're doing pretty good. As long as I don't get on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, we're doing good right now in the city of Portsmouth.
We're doing good, huh?
Yes, we have to share those positive vibes as well. You know, and hope is contagious enough to get more people involved. Like you said, you want to get more involved. And, you know, it's a lot of people in your situation, you know, that been through what you've been through that can really, just by sharing their experience, you know, because you talk about respect for the police, but probably back in your day too, it was plenty of people in the neighborhood that the baddest guys in the neighborhood would not mess with.
No,
Certain daddies and mamas,
Exactly.
you know, they would not, you know, I don't care how bad they were, when they ran across that particular adult, they did not mess around with them. So, you know, I guess, like I said before, we have to be careful because it's a different breed out there. But and you know, together collectively, I think we can sort of take back the power in our neighborhoods.
Right.
yeah, it's a different breed, but they don't want the smoke either. I
Right.
mean, they'll do it among each other, but that you don't want to start messing with law enforcement because that capital murder and death row don't sound good.
Yeah, especially when they start coming from the federal level, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, that's on the state level. It's
Mhm.
capital murder. And then this is the thing. They don't want it, and they'll get out the way. They'll get out the way. They know what the stakes is. Trust me, they know what the stakes is. Messing with those police. So they
So
respect them. You just need to try some things. Yeah.
So we're winding down, and it's unfortunate we had the glitch in the
Yeah.
beginning, but we still got a lot in. We still those who didn't know you, they know a lot more about you now, and we appreciate you sharing all of that, especially the part that kind of got you kind of choked up because you realize your blessing, and a lot of people miss their blessings,
Right.
because they're looking for something, looking for it in a different way. But we appreciate it, and we're going to wind down, but we're going to give everybody an opportunity for last remarks or questions if you still have some. And Eric, your last, if you're talking to, like you used to, talking to a group of youngsters, what would you be saying to them right now?
I would tell them, don't give up and don't give in. I failed the GED 6 times.
Mm.
Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but 6 times. Do not give up. If I would have quit, I wouldn't be telling you I'm getting ready to start my PhD today. Do not give up.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a dirty road. Life is a dirty road. But you just have to endure and pull through. And then they need positive role models in their life that can mentor them and try to steer them in the right direction. And I'm gonna try to help. I'm gonna try. I can't save the world. It ain't gonna be one person. It's gonna take a collective of people to turn things around in any neighborhood or any city. But I just want to do my part to try to help. I
And
just
you,
want to do my part.
and when they see you riding down the street in that Corvette, they know that came from hard knocks, hard lessons, and hard work, not slinging.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely,
you can get those things. Those things come along with all the hard work and dedication that you put into your life.
absolutely. And let me just say this: the only reason why I got it because I set a goal. It wasn't about the car. I set a goal and was able to achieve it. That's all I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't nothing about the car. It was just setting that goal and then achieving.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got the thrill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, I would like to say once again, I commend you for your achievements And I will know you when you tap me on my shoulder. I promise you. Yeah, I'm not gonna let that happen again, Eric. I promise you. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
you better
I
carry his picture in your wallet.
yeah, I'm gonna put his
Yeah,
picture
I
in my
know,
wallet. So
right?
I'm gonna know Eric. Eric tapped on my shoulder. Oh, okay, that's Eric.
Oh
I
yeah,
know who you are. I know who you are. Okay. But Eric, I do want to commend you and I congratulate you on your heading for your PhD program. You doing that through Nova?
No, I'm doing that through Region.
The region.
Yeah, education, leadership, and management.
Wonderful.
I want
All
to
of the
teach.
places that denied you now accept you. Isn't that amazing?
Right. That's God.
All of your deniers turned into
That's it.
positives.
and it
Absolutely.
all started by Norfolk State
Norfolk
accepting
State.
you
Absolutely.
and giving you that road to travel.
Exactly.
Because before that, everybody else said, "Well, no," And then
Okay.
Norfolk State,
Noted, James.
through
Noted,
Norfolk
James.
State, you just went on to greater things, huh? What do you say?
Noted, James.
That's
Noted, James.
right.
Because of what? Norfolk State.
Norfolk State.
That's
Norfolk
right.
State.
Norfolk
I give the
State.
Okay.
props where they're due.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
But once again, I commend you and I wish you Godspeed as you move on with your PhD program. I look forward to your being back involved in the community because we
That's
need
right.
all the help that we can get in the community in order to bring some changes into the lives of many of these young people. And while we're saying that, we have a lot of people focus on the guys. We need some people to focus on the girls because many
Right.
of these girls could change these guys around. They don't realize how much power they have in their hands. So
Amen.
if they only knew how much power they had and that they don't have to subject themselves to some of the things they allow themselves to be subjected to. So we also have to focus on the girls as well
Absolutely.
as the guys. So, but I
Yeah,
want to thank you.
I include the girls.
Good.
Yeah.
I commend you once again and congratulations to you
Thank you so
on
much.
your achievements.
Thank you.
Colonel?
Yes, and I like to echo what what Leah said, and I commend you for for you continuing the path, because even though there were hard times before, sometimes those hard paths, we say they're hard, but they also build character and they build resistance, and they also make us fire the fire or the boiler maker of the fire the engines to get to where you are today. And so you're achieving your dreams now of starting your business, continuing your education. If you start looking at that, you're getting what they call chips.
Right.
And you're paying back, and now you're paying back and getting back in the community. And so if you're going to save somebody, that's what you're doing now. And so you just keep collecting those chips.
Yes. Thank you.
In the long run.
Thank you.
And I like to say, those watching, please share these videos, especially the last three. We had starting with Ron Goodrich, David Smith III, and now Eric Perryman. And even before them, we had Kimberly Waters on. I almost forgot about her when I was talking to Eric. I said we need a lady's perspective, but we already had her on before we brought the men on, and she shared her experience. Going to the prison and coming out of there and thinking more about her daughters and others than herself and what she needed to do to come out of that so she could be there for them. So share these stories, because each one of the men we had up here had sort of different journeys, but all their journeys ended up in success.
Exactly.
So that's the bottom line, and that's the message we want to get out there. So we appreciate you again, Eric, and we want you to come back when you formulate that entrepreneurship thing, and hopefully people watch this will join in with you and help you get something like that started.
Right.
And
right. Yeah, but I want to come back when the book come out, because
okay.
Now you know what happened. Now you got to know how it happened. The book gonna tell you how it happened.
Oh, okay.
All right.
The book gonna tell you how it happened. Yeah.
It's nothing like putting pen to paper and having it out there forever for generations and generations to be able to benefit from your experience.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Again, we appreciate it. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk is here for our voice. Can you find it?
Our community.
Our future.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody, and we appreciate you. And don't forget to tune in this Thursday. We will have Dr. Coletta Nicholas Fairclough. I'm sorry, I had to get off. And she's a professor at Norfolk State University, and she will be here with us, and she's going to talk about a few things, HBCUs and the 1619 project. And she has a lot more she can talk about. Hopefully we can fit it in that hour. But please join us this Thursday. And co-host, it'll be 7 if it's okay with you, because of her college schedule. She wanted to come on at 7, but I think it'll be worth tuning in to see what she has to say. She's been written a lot of books and she's nationally known. So tune in.
What now that the concert series is over? Am I correct?
No, it's not over.
It's not over.
It goes in the first 2 weeks of September.
Okay,
but,
okay, and then we'll move back to 7 o'clock. Is that true?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. It was a pleasure sharing.
Thank you, Eric Perryman. Thank you, co-host.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad we got the technical difficulties out the way.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody have a blessed day today.
All right.
And
You
the
too.
rest of the week.
Yes.
And Jovan Fuller in Pennsylvania says hello to the Virginia family. Jovan was the young man who had gone to the Pines Residential Treatment Center.
Oh yeah, and
came out and
was
turned
our
his
guest.
life around and is doing some amazing things in the Philadelphia community. So thank you for watching Jovan Fuller.
Yes, and thank you, Sanice Johnson, Francis Chavis, and Laura Armstrong, Patsy Cavendish Hines, Joy Smith, my neighbor, Clarice Orton, and of course, Antoinette Tony Chapman,
yes, Diane
Roberta
Ransom,
Carter,
yes, Vanessa
Gary
Johnson
Harris,
Black. Vanessa Johnson Black in Maryland,
Eartha Garrett, and many more. We appreciate you coming and sharing this, sharing the space with us this morning. Thanks a lot. All right, we're going for real this time.
Okay. Have a great one, guys.
All right.